flamethrower and bullets to think about. And people, before they embalmed, hey, people got buried alive. Edgar Allan Poe wrote a very terrifying story. Of course, Poe was on drugs and he had all kinds of mental problems, but he was a great author. All right, we've said this before, that basically 78% of our atmosphere is actually nitrogen. Nitrogen is a gas, N2. We cannot use it directly, so we inhale a bunch of it and we exhale it right back out. Those plants that are carbon fixers, nitrogen fixers, and it's not the plants themselves, but the microbes that live on the roots, are able to pull that nitrogen out of the atmosphere and convert it to nitrogen fertilizer. This is the way nature intended for fertilization to occur on land, but when we take the product out, then we have to artificially replace it with the stuff that we remove when we harvest the crop. So it's kind of a catch-22. Around 20 to 21, I think the amount of oxygen's actually gone down to 20% in a lot of, and it varies. It varies per season. Strangely enough, about 1% of our atmosphere is argon. Anybody know what the only major use of argon is? Welding. Okay, it is used in welding, that's true. For a long time it was the gas that they put inside light bulbs. Edison kept making these light bulbs, but he left the oxygen on the inside of the globe and they burned for about 30 seconds and burn up. He went through about 5,000 different fibers, thinking it was the fiber he was burning, the wire, and finally they determined that if you pump the oxygen out of it, it'll last a lot longer. Put something else in it. Argon is what we call an inert gas. It's like helium. It doesn't react with anything much. How's it used in welding? I knew it was.
It's a shielding gas.
Shielding gas, because it's inert. It doesn't react. It doesn't burn. Yeah. So, interesting. I took welding in 1963. Two of us took it in summer school, Butchie Lewis and myself, between our junior and senior years, and we built the lumber shells for the shop. And about 3 years later, a bunch of them fell down. Of course, Butchie and I were blaming each other. Oh, it was your one. No, it was yours. No way of ever knowing. I will. Carbon dioxide is about 4/100ths of 1% of our atmosphere. So when we talk about excess amounts of CO2 in our atmosphere, it doesn't take much to be an excess amount. It's not even a, 4/100ths or 1/25th of a percent, if you want to look at it that way, is actually CO2. There's a lot more argon in the atmosphere than there is carbon dioxide. But the argon doesn't really do anything, so it doesn't bother us much. Now when we talk, and we're just going to have to, I knew I could do all this twice, but I always try. When we talk about types of air pollution, basically this is the group, and I'll send you this out, but the biggest one by far and large is carbon monoxide. Now normally when you oxidize a carbon-based fuel, you get the byproduct is CO2. A carbon and two oxygens combine, and it forms this gas, carbon dioxide. If there's a scarcity of oxygen, if you're burning a furnace without ample oxygenation, in other words, ventilation to the system, then this material is formed. It's an incomplete oxidation of carbon. It's carbon monoxide. Di means two, mono means one, mono. And it is the largest pollutant in our atmosphere. And it's very dangerous because it's not a poison exactly, but what it does, the hemoglobin that picks up oxygen in our blood likes CO better than it likes oxygen. So it'll absorb the CO, not absorb the oxygen, and you actually suffocate without realizing you're doing it. There's a couple that I went to high school with, went out in the park one snowy night, and they backed their car up into a snowbank, and they clogged the tailpipe up with snow without realizing it, left the engine running because it was cold, and they went to sleep and died. So that was a sad occasion. They didn't have a double funeral because both sets of family blamed the other person for this event.
Oh, man,
They would have probably gotten married right after. They were seniors.
How would it not have melted the snow?
I'm sorry?
How would it not have melted the snow?
It just, I guess, I don't know, it was a bank. It was actually an embankment. They might have gotten into the mud and everything else. And I had a college buddy that was 1 week away from graduating from law school, and he sat in his garage with the car running and wrote a journal. He wrote 20-something pages documenting his own death.
You said where?
He just turned to good. Left the car.
Nothing left, nothing left. I guess that's quick and fast, no pain.
Yeah, it'd be nasty.
Well, not fast, but no pain.
I'd rather not suffocate, I'd rather be shot.
Yeah, or they just blow me away.
Just disintegrate me. No.
Hanging would be bad if you knew it was instantaneous, but some people, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll continue this.